So after my last brew session that just took way too long, ever since I've upgraded my kettle, I've decided to go out and get the Banjo cooker, the KAB4. Pretty excited. This thing is heavy. I just weighed it. It's like 24 pounds, and it is cool. I wasn't sure which one to get. Look at this thing. I really wasn't sure which one to get. Of course, you see those jet cookers and all that. So I called support over at Bayou Classic. They answered right away. I told them which pot I had, what size it was. You need to have about see, my pot's diameter is 13.6. They said it had to be 14, so that worked. He suggested for what I was gonna do, this would be the one to go with. And it's got a 30 psi adjustable valve. So some of the other cookers only had up to 10 psi, so this thing will burn a lot of fuel, but it should burn pretty quick. I asked him if he knew the BTUs. He said they don't measure them in BTUs, but he said he heard from others that they measured somewhere between like 185,000 and 210. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. It's going to definitely burn more fuel, but I'm hoping to see getting 8 gallons of water boiling, and we'll see. But I'm hoping maybe 20 minutes or so. I don't know. So we're going to put this guy together and do it on this next brew session. Okay. Yeah, so this burner is cool. It is just, it's going to be awesome. It's just way bigger than anything I've had. It should fit my pot real well. I noticed that these screws here, there's a little channel here, and they're a little bit, this is a little bit loose, the burner in here. I snugged them up just carefully. You need a 10 millimeter socket to do that, but be very careful. And it does have a Phillips too, because you don't want to strip out the burner. As far as instructions go, I mean, this is just this huge manual you get that are very generic. The most important sheets you're going to find are these two pieces of paper that are loose in there. You take these pieces here. The spring is smaller on one side than the other, and you got the two sides of this orifice here. And it looks like you take this longer end of it, you slide it into the smaller side of the spring, and you'll stick that into here. Then it threads into here. So when you set it in there, just be real careful. Go backwards with it, and then slowly screw it in. Okay, so here's your end of your gas line. Before we tighten this too far in, just go ahead and thread that on. Since that had a flared end on it, you're not going to need any Teflon tape there. This back nut here is a 16 millimeter. Snug that up just with an open-ended edge. That's it. Here we'll continue, I guess at this point, to thread it tighter. So they want you to tighten it, and just kind of reading through it, it says to tighten it tight but not too tight. So because they wanted you to be able to do this. Now on here is your regulator. Basically, it's just increase and decrease it. This hooks to your tank like you would any barbecue grill, and that's really about it. Oh, there is one more piece. I almost forgot. The installation of this. This holds the hose up and gets screwed into here. So there is actually a hole here and a nut. And it's going to be our same. What is that? 11 millimeter? You said that thing was? No, 10 millimeter. So 10 millimeter. So I'm going to put that on real quick. Nice and tight. Everything still adjusts here pretty good. You might need to adjust that from time to time, but I think we're pretty good there. So that looks like it's about it on the prep. There is definitely some cautions in the instructions on this thing. So it tells you initially to set air shutter to the fully closed position. So we'll do that by blocking everything. It's fully closed. Make certain regulator valve is turned clockwise to the closed position. Let's take a look at that. Not connected to gas yet, but might as well get it ready. It says to open the tank fully. says keeping face and hands away from the cooker. Set lighter above the burner. Open the regulator a quarter of a turn. Just a quarter turn on that. Light the burner. After lighting, observe the flame. With proper air-gas mixture, the flame should appear blue or clear. A yellow flame indicates too much gas. Carefully turn the air control disc until the flame is blue. And that's going to be down in here. This is the air control disc. Then slowly open the regulator valve until the flame reaches the desired level. And it says slowly again. Now they talked one thing about a a tank that's 3/4 empty. And it says and the cooker shuts off. It says follow the lighting instructions to relight the cooker. Remember, open the valve only a quarter of a turn for lighting. After the cooker is lit, the most you can open the regulator valve is another quarter of a turn. So that's a total of half. So you're only able to get this half open if you've got 3/4 of an empty, a tank that's 3/4 empty. It says a near empty tank is very sensitive, so much that a gust of wind causing the tank to wobble can shut off the flow to the gas cooker. So that's the safety in the actual on the tanks, the new tanks they have out now. So it says again, the large volume of gas flow causes the tank to shut the device off to become very sensitive. A nearly empty tank is more sensitive to shutting off gas flow. So that tells you some ideas here, like flame is yellow. Carefully adjust the air control shutter until the flame becomes blue or clear. The flame blows out when the regulator valve is wide open. Make sure your tank's mostly full. Make certain the tank is level. Make certain the tank is steady. You don't want it wobbly. Gas shuts off when turning the regulator to full open position. Slowly open the regulator valve. Opening the regulator valve too fast can activate the tank shut-off device. And then they talk about it being, 3/4 empty or more. It says that the cooker is operating perfectly and it suddenly shuts off. You might be getting really low again. You'll have to run this thing probably at half. They talk about the paint's gonna burn off and that's all normal. So that's about it. I think it's time to get it set up and start brewing. Okay, we've got our strike water in here ready to go. Our heat shield on. You're definitely going to need it on this thing. Now we're looking to adjust this to be a blue or a clear flame. As you can see, it's definitely orange. Okay. Now, there's really nothing. It's like clear. So now we're going to open up our regulator valve. So we can get this guy to start boiling. Sounds like a jet. Too much air. There you go. Close that air intake a little bit. Let's see this wind there. Maybe a little more gas. Looks like I have to make some adjustments here or there. This thing's basically full on now. Now let me give it a little bit. A little bit less air again, and there's all that heat now. You have to balance the air and the, you get a little bit of yellow, it appears. That looks about right. Let's get a timer started. 12:42. Let's see how fast we can get up to where we need to be. So I think we're looking to get to strike water 157.73. Okay, I had to stop the heat process of the strike water. I've been using this, at least in my older setups, this piece of step flashing. Look at this thing. It's just torn into pieces. There's just way too much heat coming off that thing. So lucky me, I happen to have two of these side panels. It's a stainless steel panel. They were for the sides of a kitchen hood that we never needed to use. So it looks like it's setting in there just perfectly. I think it's going to sit great. So I'll set that up there. I mean, if this doesn't work, I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to use. So I decided to stop it once more and make another adjustment here. It just didn't seem like it was protecting enough. So now, this is what I got. You know, that's the underside. You're seeing actually the reflection up here at the top of the stainless piece. But it's, you know, further forward by a lot. And then I just eyeballed the pot to be in the center of this as best that I could. And I'm at the very smallest pot you can use with this burner. So it's not really that easy to still get the full use, but I think I got it now. Well, now it's just going to come down to whether this stainless is enough to protect this or not. You know, I do have one other piece I can throw on top of it. I'm going to go get it. Hold on. Okay, so now I just kind of stacked that other panel I had, flipped it over. I wish I could have enough room under there to flip it the other way to give it more of an air gap, but it just doesn't work. So I'm happy to have this though. There you go, you can kind of see it. All the shiny stainless pieces, but there's the original piece back there that's right on the burner, and then this piece above it. And that, you know, gives me a lot more distance and hopefully enough shielding. So we'll get her fired back up. Okay, it's 105. You can hear that thing cranking. Maybe I'll have to just run it a little bit lower. Yeah, maybe I just can't crank this thing up full. I'd rather be safe than sorry today, so we'll see. I'll adjust the flame here and there and see how it goes. So it's been about 35 minutes and we're just hitting the strike temperature now, and it's pretty much because I've kept the temperature down. Now I have it nearly on full, but not really on full. You'll notice that if you hear it, the tank whistles a little bit the higher you go. But man, I don't think I'm at full yet, and this thing's just started cranking up. So we're at strike temperature now for sure.